What's up, everybody? Mark with Cardivox Academy here, and we are in beautiful Cologne, or Cologne, Germany. Cologne, thank you. We just played, my band Kardashev, we just played Euroblast Festival yesterday, and we are back on the final day of the festival. I'm here with the Scream Dudes, and we're actually going to do an in-person vocal lesson. So I'm very excited because the Scream Dudes here have been basically documenting their entire screaming journey so that people can learn what it's like not to just watch people who are at the top of their game, but people who are slowly building and slowly becoming much more talented. And I think the videos are very cool. So today, we're gonna give an in-person lesson. You guys ready?
Yeah, so fucking ready.
Hell yeah.
I'm super nervous.
So the first thing that's important to know is that these two fine gentlemen have some stuff done already. We've got a good baseline false chord tone, right? So let's go ahead, let's hear from each of them, these false chord tones. Why don't we start here with you, Eric?
All right. Yeah, false chord low, standard one. Tunnel. And if I copy Mark's beard technique, okay. But I have to say, we also work with a coach, like you, and we're basically working on getting my false chord distortion from like basically pushing my entire larynx down, more up, like with Kagura. Oh, and I'm not there yet, but maybe at some point I can push it to more of like a oh, kind of.
All right, now Julius, let's hear where you're at.
Thanks, Mark.
Hell yeah. So, like I was saying, my friends, the Scream Dudes here, they already have a good baseline. And in fact, for certain genres and certain types of metals, you could use these. You could totally use these in like old school death metal or like certain types of Viking metal. So it's not like they don't have anything and we're going to give them something here. But we're going to take this and we're going to try to kind of extrapolate on it. And what I want to work on today is breath support. That's the main thing I want to work on, right? Because in my opinion, well, not just my opinion, a lot of people would agree, screaming without breath, without good support is like cooking without heat. And don't tell me about ceviche, all right? That's a technicality. Ceviche is a technicality, all right? But you're never going to get the finished final product. You're never going to get that power unless you have a good understanding of breath support, right? So let's say, my current students will recognize this. Let's say 2 to 3 bite-sized sentences. Somebody was to ask you, what's breath support? It's just one of your buddies at work, okay? How would you answer? We'll start on this side this time. How would you answer, what is breath support in just 2 or 3 bite-sized sentences?
For me, it's that you use your belly and not your lungs to do the scream.
I'll take that answer. I like it. What about you?
Yeah, basically engaging your core muscles and diaphragm instead of like you're pushing from your chest to have a steady airflow through your throat to activate the false chords or whatever technique you're doing, and basically have a consistent scream that you can hold as long as you can and as consistently as you can.
Perfect. That's awesome. So I like both of those answers, and those are answers that we can use, right? Those are answers that we can work with. It's important that when we talk about complex concepts like this, we break them down into 3 levels of understanding, right? Like, let's say, what is a car? Right? Let's use this as an example. So if I was to say, what is a car? You could say, well, it's a vehicle that people use for transportation. What does a car do? Well, it moves quickly for transportation. How do you drive a car? Well, you sit in this driver's seat, you turn the key. See, there are different levels of understanding of something. So that's a good example of what breath support feels like. That's a good example of the basic mechanism of how it works. But we want to know what breath support's going to do for us. Right? That's one of the main things we want to understand. So breath support does a couple things that are really, really important. The first thing is that it helps us build healthy, sustainable pressure. Right? Healthy, sustainable pressure. So what I want both of you guys to do real quick is I want you to take a deep breath in. It does not have to be a proper breath. And then I want you to just let it out. No technique, nothing. Just perfect. That is exhaling, obviously. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take your lips and I want you to kind of make it like a little O shape, like you're going to blow out a candle, and you're going to do the same thing. Beautiful. Beautiful. They're professionals already. So we can see that depending on the shape of our vocal tract, that which we just used was a smaller aperture of our lips, we can create create situations where there's a buildup of air pressure slowly being released and used properly, right? Now what I want you to do is I want you to both, you don't have to sing a perfect note. I don't care what note you speak or sing. I want you to breathe in, and then I just want you to say the letter A and just hold it. A. Go ahead.
Together or?
Yeah, together, yeah. Yo, that was some good pitch matching. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That was funny. That was great. So, tell me, did that feel closer to breathing out like we did first? Or did it feel kind of, not exactly, but a little bit closer to like maybe holding your breath?
Closer to holding my breath. I could do it much longer. There was like more, I guess, constriction in my throat, and yeah, the air went out slower, and yeah, so more like holding your breath.
What about you? What would you say?
Actually, just the same. Much longer was possible just to the tone much longer.
Perfect. So this is an example. It's nothing fancy, but this is an example of what breath support does for us. Notice as well, did you feel like you had to tighten or squeeze your throat at all?
Not at all.
No. So you had longevity, you were hanging on to a note, and you had really good pitch consistency, really even airflow, and it was almost all from creating a little bit of pressure using your abdominal muscles, creating just the right amount of healthy resistance with your vocal cords, right? We're not trying to hold the door, so to speak, but just a little bit of resistance from those vocal cords moving, and then everything else, we sort of just set it and forget it. That's what we're trying to do with our false chord vocals, right? So right now, you guys are kind of in this space. Right about there. We're going to try to work you towards more like of an A, Y, ba, 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 now, ba. We're going to try to go there. And the answer to that is not really going to be here. It's going to be here, right? Yeah. So the first thing I want you to do is we're going to get the sensation of using these abdominal muscles, because there are actually three ways, at least for us. There are three ways that we can utilize these abdominal muscles, right? The first one is like flexing to take a punch. So imagine I'm going to, wow, wow. Go ahead and flex those abdominal muscles. Yeah. Now I want you to notice something. I'm going to go back to being relaxed, my nice chubby self. Ich bin pummelig, right? It has to be some German. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm right here, obviously very squishy, and I'm going to hold a note, and I'm just going to flex my muscles, and you're going to hear that not a lot happens. There's a little bit of change in my voice, but it's not much, right? Imagine I'm holding this microphone and I flex my hand muscles. So my hand's here and I flex it. You couldn't move my fingers if you tried, right? They're very firm. Now I'm going to hold this microphone as loosely as I can, and then I'm going to flex my muscles. Do you trust me to turn my hand upside down? You shouldn't, because that's going to fall right out. Look, my hand is flexed as hard as it can be. Nothing. Now what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze your abdominal muscles legitimately, like you're trying to push out a fart. Let's say you were at Oktoberfest and you ate too much Brot and Käse, and so you're all plugged up, right? So you're going to, and in fact, one of the ways I want you to do this is you're going to make a noise. Now, here come the personal questions. Do you feel kind of like you're pressing down on your pelvic floor, your butt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I felt the pressure.
Like if you were to do this, and you have to be careful. This is why a lot of touring musicians have certain types of foods or certain restaurants they will swear off. For me, it's like I'm not going to eat a lot of salty foods, and we'll leave it there, right? So what if we did this? Okay, this is interesting. What if we do this, and we do it with like a Z, 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 Z. Go ahead and give it a try. Z, 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 Z. Now, one thing I'm hearing, well, actually, let's do it over here first. Mm-hmm. Z, 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 Z. Ah, yes. Yeah. Vasa, very important. So, there was actually a fairly distinct difference in the two of you with your sounds. We had you, Z, Z, Z. There was a squeezing of the vocal cords. There was a closure of the glottis. Yeah. Whereas over here, there wasn't as much Z, Z, Z. One of the reasons we use breath support, one of the reasons we have this is to avoid having to squeeze here unnecessarily. There are some types of screams that are highly squeezed. This is not one of them. So what I want you to do is I want you to less z, z, zzz, zzz. Okay. Oh yeah. What do you think? Did he do it?
Was good. I think he found it.
I think so too. I think you farted. I heard it. I smell it. Just kidding. I don't. Just kidding. I don't. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. So what if we do that with our voice? What if we do? And I want you to actually first let's get a good vowel. What I want you to say is, let's try A. So I want you to A, and I want you to be like you New York, New Jersey, right? Hey, I'm walking it. Let me hear your best. Hey, I'm walking it.
Hey, I'm walking it.
Ah, did you hear that? Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, I'm walking here. It's just in the front. Hey.
Hey, I'm walking it.
Let's bring it a little closer to home. What if we do like an umlaut, like an Where do you feel that buzzing?
In my throat.
In your throat? Let's try to get it buzzing here. What's one of your favorite foods?
Likes chocolate.
Pizza.
Pizza? Okay. What's your favorite topping? You can say pineapple. This is a safe space. What's one of your
I'm
favorite?
not gonna say pineapple. I'm gonna get roasted in the comments, and it's not. It's let's say what's it called? Ham.
I will say that I love pineapple on pizza, and I will also say if that bothers you, you are weak and your bloodline is weak. So there. So with that being said, I want you to imagine that you've got a nice bite of ham pizza. What's your favorite type of pizza?
Italians will judge as a fungi.
Oh no, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Yeah,
It's prosciutto e fungi. I had to choose one.
both.
Yeah. So
Put them together. So what you're going to do is I want you to imagine you've got a bite of this pizza, and I'll start first because we're all going to sound like idiots together, and you're not going to squeeze the throat. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to be chewing on it, and you're going to be saying, Do you feel any sort of buzzing in the front of your face? Buzzing in the front of the face? Buzzing in the front of the face? Did you have to squeeze your throat for that? Did you have to squeeze your throat for it? So we've just proven to ourselves that resonant placement is or doesn't have to be tied to the constriction of our throats. Nidocaine, right? Nidocaine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and while we're making this chewing noise, we're going to open up. We're going to go from the pizza to an umlaut. Which my umlauted is probably terrible, but let's hear it. I don't hear any constriction there. Did you feel any?
No.
What about you? Beautiful. So let's do some simple umlaut. When I do this, it's like I'm going but
German
All right, this is silly. So, what if we take that? Hold on, we're doing something here. We're doing good work. What if we take this and we zzz, right? Now, before we do it, I want you to listen. That vibrated my head so much my ears itch. Yeah. So I want you to listen to my voice, and I want you to make some observations. There's no wrong answer here, but any observation is a good observation. So, what do you notice?
Your belly, of course. You use your belly, like, came up.
Okay. What about you?
feels like it's going a lot more like up and out instead of just like.
Yeah. This way. My voice, my throat isn't squeezing at all. Not even a little bit. But what is happening is the sensation of vibration is amplifying and lifting. So it starts here. Now, it's important to note that our heads are shaped differently. So your sense of vibration may not move up. It may stay here. That's okay. Our heads are not going to resonate in the exact same way. But our goal is to get more projection, more vibration, no extra work in the throat. So, right here. Watch the belly. And every time I do that, it's like I'm going, right? So let's start over here. Give it a try. Okay. We can work with that. How about you? Cool. So we're getting more power, we're getting more projection, we're getting more buzz. Does it feel like, and this is kind of abstract because we don't have any sort of way to measure joules right now, but does it feel like any additional work?
Not a lot. Not a lot of work.
No.
Not a lot of work. So now let's take this, my best attempt anyway, at this umlauted sound, and let's false chord through it. And I want you, don't even try to make it a low. And like you're gonna hear my voice crack because I'm gonna start so gently and move to a place of comfort. I don't care how I sound right at the get-go. I want to start from a place of comfort and then move into a place that sounds cool. So there we go. I like that. That's good enough, right? Give it a try. There you go. Cool. Now, your larynx looked nice and neutral. Yeah. Do you feel like you were super, super relaxed, or were you already kind of adding some oomph into it?
It came just from the belly.
Cool. See how it's going. Good.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, so now what we're going to do, how you feeling? Feeling good?
Yeah, throat's a little dry, so.
Okay.
Rehydrating. All good.
Yeah, I got to find me some Vasa when I get inside. So, now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold on to that sensation. Now we're going to take this, with our clean voices again, and we're going to go ooh-ah, ooh-ah. Okay, so ooh-ah. It's the same as ooh, ooh. Oh, don't fall. It's the same as ooh, ooh. But now ooh-ah, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. In the throat, it feels exactly the same. Volume feels sounds basically exactly the same. It does buzz a little bit less because I'm opening, I'm creating a wider embouchure, but it's still that way. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah. Watch the belly. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. Give it a go.
Ooh-ah, 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 ooh-ah,
Good.
ooh-ah, ooh-ah. Just gonna check on the camera.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, cool. So these are some sounds that we can work with. Here we go. What happens if we take that really comfortable, low effort, but balanced ooh-ah, 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 ooh-ah. So remember, what have we learned though? Even though it sounds like I'm doing something crazy, I'm not doing very much other than the source, other than the vocal folds versus all the tissues above the vocal folds. So the false folds, aryepiglottic folds, things like this. I'm not doing really that much different. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah feels very similar to ooh-ah, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. Hey, what's up? Guy in the little canoe. Stop it, Brody.
It would have been hilarious if you turned around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Right? So let's go ahead and let's give it a try. Who wants to go first? I want you to do it one at a time so you can be hearing just yourself.
Eric, you want that kind of
Eric, okay, here we go.
Fuck.
So do it clean first. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah.
Ooh-ah, 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 ooh-ah,
Yeah.
ooh-ah.
Okay, now?
Ooh-ah, 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 ooh-ah.
Yeah. Now,
I'm dropping a little bit, am I?
yeah, instead of thinking this way, think that way.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a workout, though.
super nice.
So, how about you?
Yeah, now I have to pressure.
You got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, 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 ah,
So that that's where your scream lives.
Okay.
When you're screaming, depending on what your goals are, but when you're screaming, that's your starting point. So when you two have practiced this for a long time, this will be the last thing we talk about. One of my favorite exercises to give my students is angry ABCs. So what you're doing is you're going to use that scream, and yours totally can do that. You can do this the same thing as well, right? You take that same scream and you imagine that you're playing a show, and the lyrics to your song are the ABCs, and everybody in the crowd knows it. And it is your job to take these ABCs and to sell it, so that even though the crowd knows you're doing the ABCs, they're still like, damn, right? So you find yourself to this ooh-ah, ooh-ah. And let's say we have like a very black tongue type beat. Boom, da-na-na, boom, da-na-na, boom, boom, boom. Right? So it's kind of down tempo. I'm going to go dum, dum, hey, ay, dum, da-da-dum, dum, B, boom, dum, dum, da-da-dum, dum, dum, C, D, E, F, J, boom, da-da-dum. And it's the same tone. It's the same tone. I'm just leaning into it the way that we know how. I'm leaning into it the way that we know how, and I'm just doing funny shapes. Like, you know, kind of like Sylvester Stallone, right? A, B, C, A, B, C, D. It's the same tone, but I'm talking like this, right?
Okay.
So I've got my tongue like this, lips sealed. A, B, C, A, B, D, B, B. And you can work with that. Want to do a couple angry ABCs? Just do ABC. Just do ABC. Easy.
Okay. Let me just get into it first. Ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C,
Yeah.
E, B, C.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, your turn.
Okay, also get into it a bit. Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh 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 ooh, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ah, A, B, C, A.
Pause real quick. You lost your baseline tone. You got a lot of gears turning right here. So find your first tone, comfortable and control. Ooh, 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 ah, ooh, ah. Should feel very loose and relaxed. Good. You were close. Give it another go.
Ooh, 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 ah, ooh, ah,
There you go.
ooh, ah, A, B, 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 C, 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 A, B, C.
What's really interesting about your tone is that you can't see this in the video, but the sound that you're making sounds very open and cavernous, but your tongue is in a very like lifted position, like Your tongue is in a very like twangy position, but you still have this like sort of sound. So that's kind of cool, and that's just due to the shape of your vocal tract. Hell yeah! What do we got going on over here?
Maybe I can try one more time. I wasn't super happy with what I did.
Okay.
It was still my old technique, kind of. But you like the thing you said with like keeping it loose. Maybe that helps. Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah.
Shit your pants a little bit.
Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah.
There we go.
Ooh ah, ooh ah. A B C, A B C, A B C, A B C.
Yeah. See, that sounded way better because you got to make sure you're like.
Keep a focus on staying relaxed. Like even with my super low and condensed technique, I can there's still like I can find levels of relaxedness, even though it's like a very kind of thing. So I have to kind of feel less pressure that you're standing next to me, and then try to get it right.
Yeah, you got to go Zen mode.
I'm not looking forward to seeing this.
So but you will. So that was, I think, a pretty solid start. That's plenty for you to chew on.
Oh, yeah.
Breath support, projection, relaxation. Hell yeah! Thanks, guys. Good results. If this was a lesson with one of my normal students and this is how we ended it, I'd feel pretty good. I'd feel like you're doing pretty well. So, any final thoughts?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for teaching us.
Hell yeah! Simple. I love it. What about you?
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Repost.
All right, that's enough from us. Many thanks. Much love. We're out.
A, B, C.
Nice job, dudes.
Thank
Hell
you so
yeah.